It takes time if you want whatever it is that you want. I realized that probably last year when I started to see results in my fitness. That was like the first sign of things. And the funny thing is, I remember 10 years back, I was 16 years old. And at that time, I had zero confidence in myself, very low self esteem. I was very, very skinny. Now I would say I'm lean, but before that time, I was really, really skinny. And it was very, very interesting. So, back when I think it was 19 and 20, I took an online course and it was about the 10 dark years. And basically those 10 years are the years where you're figuring things out. You're trying to understand. Maybe you're starting a business. Maybe you're trying to get your fitness right. Maybe you're whatever it may be. Maybe you're trying to grow yourself. Maybe you're trying to be with someone. And those 10 years is going to be those years where you are building towards that. They say it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. It's the same thing when you work a job. It's the reason why when you work that job, at first you're intimidated, you don't know what you're doing, but at some point it becomes autopilot. And it's the same thing with all these other steps. And the reason why I wanted to make this was because I've kind of noticed this in my own life. Starting with my fitness, back when I think I was 17, I think, or 18 when I first started working out. And at that time, again, like I said, my goal was just to be like a regular sized person. I didn't, I felt like I was really skinny. Like I was always wearing long sleeves because I was that insecure. So that was like my goal. But when I first started working out, I was like, man, I started seeing newbie gains, which is like 2-3 months. And then I stopped seeing results. And I was like, man, I'm not seeing any results. I'm not getting injured, but like I'm not doing things properly. Like I don't know what to do. And as the years went by, I started to slowly figure it out. I didn't stop. Like sometimes it takes a little break, maybe like maybe a few weeks or so, but I always went back to it and I always continued. And because of that, it started to click when I hired one of my friends to become my personal trainer. And then that's when it clicked a little bit. And then 2 years later, I decided, you know what, I'm going to work on my nutrition. And then from there, I decided, you know what, let me become a personal trainer, like certified trainer. Now, I'm not training anybody right now. Like I wouldn't call myself a certified personal trainer. I've kind of gone to a different direction in my career path. However, it took time and it started to slowly click as the years went by. But again, when I first started it, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't like a reality. And same thing with my career. I was trying to figure things out. And in terms of like I remember when I was 16, 17, I'd always like browse on the computer. I'd always just browse, just try find things to do. And it wasn't, but as the years went by, I was still doing it. Like before, I was just doing it for fun. I was always like on the web, on the internet, just doing things that I would like sometimes work on some projects just for fun. And then at some point, I just kept doing it over and over and over again. And even though I left and then I came back, I left, I came back, it was the same deal. Like I still continued with it. And because of that, now that's kind of where my career path has gone. I would say like I'm still learning all the time, but I'm definitely at a point where I'm very confident in what I'm doing, and I'm confident to the point where I can approach someone and be like, "Hey, I can do this for you." And I can confidently say like, hey, we can get results here, and I can make it. I can take them as a client, or something along those lines. And I'm working on a really cool project right now, and that's like really, really, really like that's been on my mind. So when I wake up, I'm working on that one. That's it. Actually, it really excites me. But it wasn't until it wasn't until last year where I really realized, okay, this is really what I wanted to do. When I went to personal training, I thought that's what I wanted to do, but I realized this path that I've been taking for so many years, I would leave and I'd come back, leave, come back, leave, come back. And it would always be like that. Those were so-called the 10 dark years. It hasn't even been 10 years yet. Even with my fitness, I don't think it's been, yeah, maybe now it's almost been about 10 years now since I've been working out. But it's just natural progression. And the reason why I wanted to make this was because I always hear like sometimes I hear people like it could be my friends, it could be people that maybe I don't know. They're always like, hey, like I'm trying to do this, like are you down to do this? Or you and I usually tell people like now I tell people like if it doesn't align, like I will not do it. Like I just can't. Like it's just not something I'll do. I'll be like, I don't have time for it, but just do it. And when you do it, people will come along. And it's worked for me where if I had something that I wanted to do, I don't really like go out and tell people, hey, like this is what I want to do. Sometimes I'll ask for advice. Like when I want to become a personal trainer, I ask for advice from one of my friends, like what should I do? Even with this thing, with online thing, like now I have mentors and they're teaching me what like a lot of different things, which is really, really cool. And I'm super grateful for them for teaching me all this. But you know, as time kind of goes along, like I realized that I took these steps. I actually did it, you know, and because of that, I'm happy that I did that. But many people kind of sit in that contemplation stage where like I have a friend. I love the guy. I love him, friend. But he had an idea that he really wanted to do, and he was like, hey, like who's down to do it? And I was just like, yo, like you should just start, just do it, and then people will join along. And just that's literally how it is, right? Because at the start nobody really believes in it except you. You know what you know your vision more than anybody else. So it's up to you to execute this vision that you want to do, right? For me, even there's a time when I started a clothing thing, and at that time nobody really understood what it was. I was talking about it, but I actually started it, and then people started to come along the journey, right? And I ended up stopping it, but I know for a fact that if I start doing it again, it's gonna work out because I know exactly what I did the first time, and I know exactly how to gain some traction on it. So that's something that I wanted to kind of share, because I know some of you guys may feel like, man, like I want to start this, I want to start that, but it's gonna take too long, or I'm not gonna get it right away. I want to be rich next year, this and that. It takes 10 years. Even money management, you know, like understanding money. For me, I'm still I'll be honest, like I'm still learning a lot about it, you know. I'm still right now I'm trying to learn how to grow my income. That's been the biggest thing for the last, like now almost last 9 to 10 months now. I've been trying to learn a lot more about that, and as I'm going through it, I'm learning more and more, and I've been making like, you know, like a lot more money. Like it's not like a significant amount more, but I can now kind of see it. I can see myself making a certain amount. The goal that I have that I'm looking at on my whiteboard, I know I can reach that goal because I've gone through this trial and error where I've tried to figure things out, and it took time, but as time went by, I now know how to like make more money, and I actually know how to manage more money, like how to manage my money as well. So even if I'm making a low income, I'll still have a decent amount, you know, on the backboard. And if I'm making a lot of money, that I'm confident to the point where I can leverage that money and do things with it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about. You know, it's gonna take years. It's maybe I said 10 years, but that's exaggerated. But it's gonna take time. Like there's no like quick fix. There's no this and that. You know, so that's kind of what I wanted to share, because I know many of you have ideas. Maybe some of you have this and that, but thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace.